Game day. Eagles, Buccaneers, Monday Night Football. We're here to break it all down here on Trending in the AM live on Philadelphia Sports Network in 30 seconds.
Fourth and goal.
And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. We're live, Facebook, YouTube. You know the drill. It's free to hit that like button. It's free to hit that share button. It's free to tell everybody to tune in to Trending in the AM, the only morning show in Philadelphia where your opinions actually matter. And it is. It's Monday Night Football. It is the end of week 3. Eagles versus Buccaneers on the agenda today. Game time, man. I miss 1:00 football games. I do. I truly do. But then once it's Eagles game day, it's time to get excited again. Good morning, Nick. How you doing? It is a Go Birds day. Bird Gang for life. Hold on. How do you do it? For life. Yeah, that's something like that, right, Ivan? Lots to dive into. It was a wild, wacky Sunday in the NFL. We'll get into some of those things as well. Whatever you guys want to talk about. Keys to victory to beat the Buccaneers, get to 3-0 tonight. This game's got a different meaning to it now. I've been cautiously optimistic all week last week leading up to tonight, talking about this Buccaneers game and how the Buccaneers are a really good team. They're a really good defensive team. Mayfield's not a great quarterback, but they got 2 great wide receivers. Obviously Vita Vea on the defensive front. Cautiously optimistic. But after the Cowboys go down to the Cardinals yesterday, this game's got all different meanings to it. What's up, Jim? Let's go, Birds. Fly, Eagles, fly. That's right. Protect Jalen Hurts. That's kind of like a key like every game. And we've got to do better at it, Ivan, and it's a great place to jump off of. Because when you look at this Buccaneers team, they could beat you 2 ways. They've got a great run defense that can shut down an opponent's rushing attack, which that's our number 1 focus offensively. And 2, they have that forces you to have to throw the ball, which we haven't done successfully much this year yet. Which means if you can protect Jalen Hurts, this game is going to be won or lost in the air on both sides of the ball. Can we stop Evans and Godwin? Can we protect Jalen Hurts so he can get the ball to A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith? This might not be a high-scoring game, but this game is going to be won through the air, is my initial thought. We have to take care of business tonight. Huge opportunity with everyone in the end. I mean, Washington just got smoked by Buffalo yesterday. Giants obviously lost earlier in the week. And then the Cowboys go out last night and throw a clunker on the 425 game against the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, what could be better than the Cowboys losing to Jonathan Gannon and the Cardinals with Kazir White and Kayvon Wallace making big plays for the Cardinals last night? It's like, all right, I won't make any fun of Jonathan Gannon for at least the next week because of last night. I mean, typical Cowboys. And Cowboys fans have been crushing the Eagles because we haven't been winning as big as they had through the first 2 weeks, saying, style points matter and stuff like that. And now they're going to go out. Now you got Cowboys fans saying it's okay. We're 2-1. We weren't going to go 17-0. Of course, they're making mistakes instantly. If we would have lost to the Cardinals like the Cowboys did, we'd be crushing Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni. We'd be crushing everybody, making no excuses whatsoever. But Cowboys fans, they're a different breed. Establish a running game. Well, this is easier than said than done, Ivan. I know we've got the best run blocking offensive line in football. But the Tampa Bay front 4, I mean, it's pretty stout. You know what I mean? So there's going to be a lot of work for Kelsey and Dickerson and Cam Jurgens on stopping Vita Vea in that front 4 for sure. Special teams as always. It'll be nice to see somebody other than Aaron Sipos punting the ball tonight. What is up, K1? How we doing this morning? Hold up. So they're not them boys. Oh, they're still them boys. They just don't realize that losing to the Cardinals last night was a big deal. Um, Two players the game hinges on: Reddick and Goddard. Well, Reddick, because yeah, you gotta get pressure. Look, remember, Hassan Reddick didn't have his first sack till week 3 last year. It took a little while for him to get going last year. Need to see him get going. You've got to get pressure on Baker Mayfield. If you give him time, I mean, he is a more than competent quarterback to get the ball to his two elite wide receivers, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. I mean, I've got the team stats up here. Baker Mayfield's almost got 500 yards passing, hasn't thrown a pick yet. He's only been sacked one time so far, so the O line's protecting him. And he's got 3 touchdown passes. They don't run the ball well on offense, Tampa. Rashad White's their lead back. He's averaging just over 3 yards a carry. So they don't run the ball much through 3 games. Well, actually, they do run it. He has 34 rushes in 2 games, but still not run it effectively. But most of your offense is through Baker or through Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. They've got 32 targets this year in 2 games. They've got over 340 yards receiving combined in those 2 games. So you need to find a way to shut those 2 guys down. You do it by getting pressure with Hassan Reddick. Now I don't know Goddard. We'll see if Goddard can have his breakout game, or AJ Brown, or who's going to have the breakout game receiving wise. It'll be interesting to see. I haven't heard from any of my Cowboys friends last night. I had to text them. I don't worry about texting them. I just let them stew in their own frustrations there. I want a statement game and come out and whip Tampa's ass. We all want that, Jim, but it's easier said than done. You know, Tampa is 2-0. You know, they have a very strong defense that's well coached. Jalen Hurts is 0-2 in his career against the Buccaneers, both in 2021, different quarterback. But all that being said, a statement game would be coming out and winning. Just flat out winning the game would make a difference. I don't see it being a big blowout or anything like that. Steelers didn't look incredible last night, but looked creative on offense. Eagles need to start being creative as well. Yeah, we need to start seeing some progress from Brian Johnson, the offensive coordinator. We need to see some progress in the play calling. We're into week 3. Training wheels start to come off a little bit. We got the Dolphins a lot sooner on the horizon than we realized, and after they put up a 70 burger yesterday against Denver, that Miami offense is something. We need to find some creativity in the passing game. I would love to see Jalen Hurts get close to, if not over, 300 yards passing tonight. Morning, happy Monday. I think screen game will be important tonight. Have to get Baker uncomfortable in that pocket. Yeah, you got to look at who they've played. Also, the Buccaneers. I mean, obviously they played the Bears in Minnesota. Minnesota, I know they're 0-3, but they're probably one of the best 0-3 teams in football. But the Bears are just a train wreck. Baker's only been sacked one time. If you can get after Baker, then you could keep the ball out of Evans and Godwin's hand for sure, without a shadow of a doubt. Baker will throw a pick tonight. Remember, I said it first here. You're the first one to say it here. I'm sure you're not the first Eagles fan to say it, but you're the first one to say it here on Trending in the AM. He doesn't have any picks yet this year. So the only way you're going to have Baker throw that pick is if Hassan Reddick or Josh Sweat or the whole crew are in his face, rattling him. Baker Mayfield is a mid quarterback, but he's being elevated by great play around him. So you got to rattle him. He can be rattled, but he can also pick you apart. Tampa has a garbage offensive line. We are throwing around Baker like a rag doll tonight. K1, I hope you're right. That would be huge, because then you can have Bradbury Slay one-on-one on the outside with Reed. For the most part, a majority of our team is back and healthy tonight. The defense is going to have to play big. I mean, they're not going to do anything special, the Buccaneers. They're not going to put up 30. Even with Godwin and Evans, they're not going to put up 35. But they're a consistent team at this point that's playing good, disciplined football. Go Birds, Kyle. Hope you had a fun weekend traveling the Northeast, my man. AJ will have his night tonight. I really feel like you're pretty right on this one. If I had to put my finger on I don't know who's gonna make the biggest plays, but who's gonna see the bulk of targets in the passing game, it's gonna be AJ. Not because of the little tip on the sideline, not because of anything else, just because AJ Brown is an elite wide receiver. He's a top 5-7 wide receiver in football. He's been held in check for 2 straight weeks. You don't hold a guy like AJ Brown in check 3 to 4 weeks in a row. So AJ Brown will have his moment tonight. I agree with you. I could see 100 yards receiving from him tonight. I could see a TD tonight. I could see a. I mean, he almost got going last week. He had 2 touchdowns called back because of penalties. So, we'll see how that goes. I just want to be 3-0 tomorrow. I mean, again, we talked about this last week and while I was on vacation. You'd rather win ugly or lose pretty. I don't care how ugly we win, as long as we win. 3-0 is first place in the division. So you can't be upset. And a lot of the division looks really bad early on. So I can't. That's all you want. You want to be 3-0. We are boat racing the tonight. Um, I don't know. I'm normally the overly confident guy. Again, and make sure we're hitting that like button on Facebook and YouTube. We got 19 people watching live. Not that many likes right now, so make sure you hit that like button. Tampa Bay's defense. I mean, they've given up 17 points the first 2 weeks. I'll bite it. Holding Minnesota 17 points is a really good thing to do. Now holding the Bears to 17 points. I mean, the Bears stink, as I predicted. So we'll see. I'm not sure where my prediction. I've got a couple scores written down. We'll see. Jalen revenge tour against Tampa and Todd Bowles. That could be true. He has not beaten Tampa Bay. He's 0-2. Both were in 2021. It's a big moment for him. I know he holds a little bit of grudge against Tampa and their coaching for the way they talked about him, and how he was easy to figure everything. We've been down that road before. So there is a big chip on the shoulder for Jalen Hurts. We'll see if he can use that tonight as extra motivation to push it a little harder tonight. All right, Jim. Okay, one can hope, but all I want is a win. I'll be happy. Look, a win is a win. A win on Monday Night Football is a win. A win when the entire division loses is like 2 wins. And when the Cowboys lose to the tanking Cardinals with Joshua Dobbs as their starting quarterback is like 3 wins. So a win's a win, but a win would make this a very satisfying weekend. You get the Cowboys lose yesterday. If we win tonight, the Phillies clinch that number 1 wild card spot tomorrow night. Be a perfect 3-day storm there for the Philadelphia Phillies and the Philadelphia fan base. Please, no more screens. It just doesn't work. The tight end screen, the wide receiver screens, they just don't work. And I don't know why our offensive line and our offense can't create good running back screens. Someone like DeAndre Swift or Kenneth Gainwell, you would assume would be so good. And with our offensive line, the way they run block or block downhill, which is what run blocking is, and what screen blocking is, why we can't properly set up a running back screen. Remember, guys, back in like the Brian Westbrook days. I mean, we were a screen running machine. The defense could call screen right side coming, and they'd still get 12 yards out of it. I don't know why the Eagles can't run screen successfully anymore. Jalen Carr, Jordan Davis, let's go. Fletch, Brandon Graham's had a quiet season so far. His usage has been even lower than last year, but tonight could be a night he gets it. Look, I want to see a big game from Jordan Davis. There was that one guy claimed to be a former Jets scout blowing up that Jordan Davis would be a 5th-round pick if he was redrafted. Dude's an idiot. Jordan Davis is having a fantastic year. Jalen Carter is. We got to wreak havoc. We've got to be able to blitz or send just 4 or 5 guys at Baker every play and be able to rattle his cage because you need that help in the secondary, covering Evans, covering Godwin. You don't want those guys going off. You mean the arm talent that Justin Fields, man. But what was the final score of that game? I mean, I know everyone wants to talk about the 21 or the 70-20 Dolphins shellacking of the Broncos, which we can talk about how we dodged bullets there. Everybody wants to talk about that, but I mean, Kansas City, it was like 5-7 minutes left in the third quarter. They pulled all their starters. It was like a preseason game. I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs are a great team, obviously. Favorites to go to the Super Bowl, obviously. But damn, I mean, the Bears did not put up any fight whatsoever. Pathetic. Pathetic. Pew, pew. Cowboys got shot down by Gannon. Yeah, pew, 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 pew. I mean, who would have thought? Who Who in their right mind thought that the Cowboys were going to lose by double, not just lose, not just not cover the 12.5 point line, like lose by double digits to the Cardinals? I mean, it's hilarious. It's crazy how deep Andy's coaching tree runs. Todd Bowles tonight. Yesterday it was Rivera, Bieniemy versus McDermott. Yeah, I mean the Andy Reid's coaching tree is it's deep. There have been a lot of there's so many fingerprints of Andy Reid throughout the NFL. I mean, what did they say after the game? Puts him fourth or fifth all time in wins, regular season wins. Like yesterday's win. I mean, I know my man Mark, who always comments on the show, is not an Andy Reid fan. But Andy Reid is one of the greatest coaches of all time. I mean, I've said it before. He already is, and another Super Bowl might put him in the top three. You never know. Forget the quarterback for the Cards. The starting safety pissed me off. What? Kayvon Wallace making plays upset you? Buda Baker, was he out? Was Buda Baker even out there? I don't even know. Honestly, I stopped watching some of the game because doing a bunch of other things around. It's like 3 weeks in a row they're going to be the main 4 o'clock game. The Cowboys yet. Cowboys lose the Cardinals. A win when Washington has to kick a field goal in the last 2 minutes to avoid being shut out down 37 is pure heaven. Um, why even kick the field goal? Like, are you really that worried about having that goose egg? Try to get a touchdown. Do something positive. All the Sam Howell hypers and truthers out there, man. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna reach out to my ref the district guys for later in the week. They're like the equivalent of what we do here for the Commanders, and I've had them on the show before. I've been on their shows before. They do great work. But I'd love to get one of the three guys there on in the morning this week as we get prepped for next week when we play Washington on Sunday. But they love their Sam Howell down there. But I don't know what they see. That I don't see it. I don't see the Sam Howell hype whatsoever. Do Eagles fans still prefer we drafted Earl Thomas over Brandon Graham? Look, I don't even. I That's the first time I've thought about that, Marshawn, and in a long, long time. So I don't think it really matters at all. Um, do their opinions matter at rep the district? It's ref the district. But yes, their opinions do matter. They're good guys. Stoner, Trev and the crew down there, and Nate. They do great quality work. So it'd be fun to get somebody from the opposing team on here. Buda Baker's on IR, okay, but he's not hurt. Look, you know, tonight's gonna be a big night for this Eagles team. Buda Baker's name is still one of those names out there that everybody wants the Eagles to bring in. Tonight's a big night for Reed Blankenship, Justin Evans, Terrell Edmonds, whoever plays back there at safety tonight. Sidney Brown. Um, um, Big night because now you're in week 3. If they struggle in the secondary again, if they struggle at safety again, then it might be time to finally make that phone call to Arizona for Buda Baker. But if the safeties can come out tonight and play really well, stop the run, help out the outside against these two strong wide receivers, a strong dominant performance tonight can go a long way into what Howie does and doesn't have to do going forward here. Um, Sam Howell was terrible. All right, Charles. But yeah, he was terrible yesterday. But I don't get the hype around Sam Howell. People love Sam Howell. People think he's going to be this great quarterback. I gotta. I mean, chances are he might not be any better than Daniel Jones, and that's not saying much right there. Like, it's not good. Washington needs a quarter until Washington has. Now let's not. We'll get into Washington later in the week for next week's game. I mean, their defensive front is elite. I mean, they got great pass rushers, but man, Sam Howell, you live and die. All teams in the NFL. If you look across the board yesterday, all the upsets, all the bad games, all the things, you live and die with your quarterback over the course of a season, without a different, but without a doubt. Ref the district. That sounds like a bunch of narcs. Um, when one of their guys' name is Stoner, I don't think they're narcs. Hal is so much more worse than Danny Dine. Probably. Sam Howell is probably a bottom 5 quarterback in the NFL right now, most likely. Zach Taylor, what's up, my man? How you doing today? Washington would have just stuck with Wentz. You watch some of the bad quarterback play across the NFL yesterday. Sam Howell, I thought Joshua Dobbs, Zach Wilson, Russell Wilson. But then you got guys like Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, a couple other guys out there. You got a guy like Marcus Mariota as our number 2 quarterback. Yet there's some really, really bad quarterback play out there in the NFL right now. Like really, really bad play. So a lot of star quarterbacks playing poorly as well. Should have. I got you. I knew what you meant there. What about Howdy trading for the safety from Tennessee or Jeremy Chin? Also very good options. How much Howie is willing to invest in upgrading safety hinges on a game like tonight. Like, I still think no matter what happens, so I say tonight is a huge step for what this secondary is and what Howie needs to do. But it's also how much Howie needs to invest because Howie needs to upgrade the depth at safety no matter what. But Howie, if Reed Blankenship and Justin Evans and the guys tonight can play well and stay healthy, then you know, he might not seem so desperate on the phone when he's calling the GMs. He might be able to call all three of these teams that have players available at safety and be like, all right, who's going to give me the best deal? And just grab the cheapest option in the sense of trade asset. Because all three of the guys would make an upgrade in the depth of the safety position. So tonight's a big night for what Howie has to value the need at, or how he's going to value the need at it. I love for us to trade for Chin. Basically, it's going to come down to, if they play well tonight, who's going to be the cheapest person to trade to upgrade the depth at safety? If Justin Evans comes out and craps the bed again today, I'm not high on Justin Evans. I don't think he's that great. Terrell Edmonds, he's a depth piece. Sidney Brown's still not ready to start, in my opinion. But if Justin Evans comes out and plays well, then you go for Chin if he's the cheaper of the three options. But if there's a real need after tonight at safety, Howie's got to look at those three names and every name that's available, and be like, who's the best name available, and go get the best one, no matter the cost. Ed Reed Blankenship is back tonight. He is, and it's a huge gain for the second. Having him and James Bradbury back tonight, it's massive, especially with the fact that Avonte Maddox is gone for the year. It's huge that Reed Blankenship and James Bradbury are back so quickly, just missing one game, because the secondary would look very suspect tonight going up against Mike Evans and Chris Godwin without those two guys out there. How are you keeping his powder dry? We have 4 more games to the trade deadline, and other guys could get hurt. Yeah, absolutely. It's not an immediate need, but you want to get in these guys in. If you're going to upgrade the secondary, the safety, the slot corner, linebacker, anybody that's covering guys, anybody that's going to start and play meaningful minutes on the defense, because obviously we don't need anybody on the line. Um, you want them in sooner rather than later. You're not going to bring in a secondary guy, but you might as well bring him in week 4 versus week 6. You want to bring him in and get him time to be acclimated to his new team and new teammates by the time we get to the Dolphins and the Jets and some of those much more scary teams. Not that the Jets are as scary as they once were with Aaron Rodgers. And on a side note, I did predict under 6.5 wins for the Jets. Now, I didn't think Aaron Rodgers was going to be out the whole year, but I did predict it. So I might be right on that one, just with a little asterisk next to it. Howie doesn't value the safety position, at least now he sees the importance of linebacker. Yeah, but he's not going to go out, Duck, and thanks for the comment, my man. He's not going to go out and sign a guy to a 4-year, $100 million contract to bring him into play safety. But Howie is one of the most aggressive mid-season trade type guys, or bringing in guys, mid-season. He likes to pivot, builds his team, and then pivots. He's not afraid to bring a guy in mid-season, no matter what their stature is in the league. So if there's a stud safety out there available at the right price for 1 year and just the rest of this year, Howie will go out. If he can get Budda Baker or Jeremy Chin or any of these guys we talk about, he's going to do it. And he's not going to be afraid. That's why we always have so many draft picks, because he then uses some of those to bring other guys in. I think Sidney Brown is very close to starting. K1, yeah, I mean, honestly, at this point, I don't think he is ready, but I see the potential there. And if Justin Evans is your other option, I don't know why you just don't start Sidney Brown right from the get-go. Because you could have used these first. What would have Sidney Brown done worse? Like, I know Justin Evans, one of the weeks was tied for second on the team in tackles, but he was not very effective. You're not going to lose anything from going from Justin Evans to Sidney Brown. And at least early in the season against weaker opponents, he could have been learning on the fly what it's like to be in the NFL. Now, we'll see. And we're with the way the Cowboys lost and the whole division lost. It's a huge moment for us here to get to 3-0, 4-0 next week. really put some distance in this division. The thing is, do you want to learn on the fly with Sidney Brown when you're trying to win a Super Bowl, or do you want to go out and get somebody like a Buda Baker, a Jeremy Chin, or whoever else, and go that route? I don't know. Um, Sidney Brown's got huge potential, and I love him on special teams at this point. So Howie on the phone right now, looking to trade for Danny Hunter or Chandler Jones. Howie's on the phone. Howie probably calls every team every single day, and I bet you a lot of teams just see his 215 or 856 area code and just hit decline. So Miami putting a 70 burger up on Denver. Fluke or is Miami? So this is so I love this. Fluke or is Miami that good or Denver that bad? Yes, 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 yes. So putting up a 70 burger is a fluke for any team. That's why it hasn't been done in so long. Um, Miami is that good. The problem is Tua. Every time Tua drops back, in my mind, I'm thinking, is he going to get hurt? As long as Tua stays healthy, at this rate, Tua's the MVP frontrunner already. At this point, Miami, you have to think at this point through 3 weeks, Miami versus Kansas City for the AFC Championship, and it's going to be a shootout. Now, Denver is also that bad. Sean Payton, overrated as a head coach. Russell Wilson, we dodged a bullet and might be washed. Denver is going to probably have to blow it up again after this year. I mean, it's so 70 points is a fluke, but Miami is that good as long as Tua stays healthy. But Denver is also that bad. It's the perfect storm there yesterday. Like I kept seeing that score go up, and I'm like, what? And then I saw it get it was like 49 to something, and I was like, all right, I'm not even gonna watch. They're not gonna score anymore. I'm not even gonna pay attention. All of a sudden, I saw 70. Like, who scores 70 points in a football game? Just concerned for our meet. I'm extremely concerned with Miami. Um, that is an elite offense. I mean, you had couple hundred yards rushing, 300 plus yards passing. You got Tyreek Hill, and yesterday they didn't even have Jalen Waddle out there. I mean, that's a scary, scary offense. Now, I don't know a lot of details about their defense. I'll get more into that as we get closer to them. But damn, you don't score 70 points by accident. You just don't. Miami won't ever score 70 again. Nobody will in our lifetime, possibly. They'll do very well. They'll score a lot of points, but not that high. Well, no one's going to score 70 points again. That's why what they say. Like it was like the 60s the last time somebody put up 70 points. I mean, it doesn't happen often. But it was still pretty. I will say I'm not a Sean Payton fan. I'm overrated. I find Sean Payton very overrated, but he's getting crushed for the way he handled the reporter after the game. And I actually think he handled it pretty damn well. He was asked after the game by a reporter how you feel about being on. I know losing by giving up 70 is bad, but it's part of history. How does it feel to be part of history? He's like, that's a dumb question. Like, and he got, why would you want your coach to be excited about being on the wrong side of history like that? Like, your team just lost by 50 and gave up 70 points. You think the coach is going to be in a good mood to answer that kind of a question? Like, he's getting crushed for it, and he's a tool bag in my opinion, and overrated in my opinion, and whatnot. But I don't doubt that he's frustrated with that kind of question, and I think he actually handled it better than I would have told the guy to f off. You know what I mean? Watch how he trade for Devontae Adams. Devontae said, "I can't wait for Raiders to figure it out." Look, the Raiders last night, kicking that field goal with 2 minutes left in the game, or just over 2 minutes left when you're down eight. Not a smart decision. Another bullet. McDaniels was one of the guys a lot of people wanted here in Philly as the head coach of the Eagles before Nick Sirianni. Um, the Raiders, Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't know what the Raiders organization doing. They argue with Josh Jacobs. They finally figure that out, bring him back. You spend all that money on Devontae Adams and you turn it over to Jimmy Garoppolo. Their coach is a train wreck. Why I thought the Raiders last year with Derek Carr was going to win it, make it to the Super Bowl, I have no idea. The Raiders and Denver. I used to think the AFC West was probably the best division in football, but man, that is so far from the truth. If anything, it's the most inconsistent and bad division right now. It just happens to have the Chiefs in it. If they score 70 again, then they hand them the Super Bowl now. It would be scoring 70 again, and then they like lose in the first round of the playoffs or something. So that would be the ideal thing. It'll be interesting because the Dolphins still have to get through the Bills in the division. I can't wait for the first Bills Dolphins game. See how that goes. Peyton to his players, hey guys, we just lost bad. You played shit, but no worries. You're a part of history. Exactly. Like he's already probably losing that locker room a little bit. But like Like, what did that reporter expect with that question? Like, that has to be one of the worst questions asked at maybe ask him about it like 5 days from now or 2 weeks from now or in the off season. But don't ask him immediately after the game when his blood's boiling. Where's my piz? I don't even know what that means. Explain that. Maybe I'm missing something. Las Vegas is not coached well. Talent is wasted there, but in Las Vegas, they will always fill that stadium. They will. There will always be visitors. There are a lot of Pittsburgh fans at that stadium. I heard a lot of Pittsburgh cheers. And Pittsburgh's not a good team. Let me get that out of the way. Your pizza. That's right. I did guarantee you pizza. What? Didn't you say the Cardinals were going to win? Yeah, was that what it was? I think you did say that. Now, see, that's the thing, Travis. You gotta know, man. My brain's got so much going on a daily basis. I forget things very easily, man. That's why I try to take notes. I do. I really do try to take notes. But didn't you say the Cardinals were going to beat the Cowboys? I said pizza for you. You come to my pizza shop today, Travis. I will buy you a pizza for tonight's Eagles game, without a doubt. Yeah, you did say that. You did. And I'm glad you're here to remind me that you did. You were. I was thinking about it. I'm like, did anybody ever even right mind say that was going to happen? But you did. So if you want a pizza, you come on out. And I will buy you a pizza today without a doubt. Because that's just. I mean, how the Cowboys. Like, could you imagine an Eagles? Can you imagine this show the day after the Cardinals game, and we get not just beat by the Cardinals, but smoked by the Cardinals? Like seriously. Like, we would be fired up on whoever. If you take Dak Prescott out, you put Jalen Hurts in there, we'd be crushing Jalen Hurts today. Now they are crushing Dak a little bit because that interception at the end of the game was a god awful interception. Terrible throw, terrible placement. But we'd be crushing Jalen Hurts. If Nick Sirianni coached like Mike McCarthy did yesterday, well, we'd be calling for Nick Sirianni's head. We'd be saying we'd flip a switch on him so damn quickly. We would. We would be so fired up today if that happened to us. But you got Cowboys fans saying, "But we're still 2-1. It's okay." It's ridiculous how quickly they turn. Travis deserves a supreme meat lovers, bro. He can have any toppings he wants on his pizza for calling the Cardinals upset, and it's my bad for forgetting. I forgot. I don't remember. Now, if you go to my Fox's Pizza Den in Kennett Square Facebook page, we are running a contest on it. If you guess tonight's score correctly, I am going to buy you a free pizza as well. So you head over there and enter your contest there on Facebook. What is up, man? Chatter, how you doing? Don't forget, who's going to forget about the game? I don't know, Cowboys pizza. I owe Travis pizza. Make sure you guys, we're about 9:15 here. We got 19 people watching. We got 17 likes on YouTube, 2 on Facebook. Pound that like button. It's free to do. We're breaking down Eagles Buccaneers. We're also talking about the NFL as a whole. Lots going on across the NFL. And there's so much up and down. Like the fact that the Eagles, if they win tonight, are 3-0. And I'm cautiously optimistic that the Eagles win. I've got a bunch of scores written down here. Core 12 definitely. I'll give you Core 12 gets a 12% discount. How about that? That's a big discount in today's day and age. The NFL is so up and down. Like if the Eagles can come out and win tonight and beat a 3-0, doesn't matter how they win, how stylish or non-stylish they win. You got so many teams disappointing in so many different ways. Think about Baltimore losing to Gardner Minshew yesterday. Thinking about how the Jaguars lost to Houston, gave up over 300 yards to C.J. Stroud. Is C.J. Stroud the real deal? I mean, he's got the third most passing yards for a rookie through 3 games in NFL history. What is up, Jason? How you doing? It's Go Birds. I don't know how you morning people do it. Like, this is a morning show. I get up at 7 a.m. every day. You get up at like 3 a.m. every day for your job. And you got Monday Night Football. At least it's a 7:15 Monday Night Football game, so you can get to bed by maybe 10:30 tonight. But I don't know how you do it, getting up as early as you do every day. Phil has to eat crow. He said Justin Fields is not the best. I don't have to eat crow. Justin Fields is not the best. Justin Fields is terrible. CJ and Tank Dell have chemistry. Man, I mean, I've seen at least 2 big passes to them so far this season. CJ seems to have some confidence. Oh, you get up at 1:15. That's even worse. Like, I don't know how you do it, man. I couldn't do that. Could not get up at 1:15 a.m. every day. It's and you stay up and watch sports at night sometimes. I just couldn't do it. Luckily, luckily, it's a 7:15 game tonight. All Monday Night Football games should be 7:15. It's a little earlier than 8:20. 1:20 kickoff for us UK Philly fans. Man, Zach, power to you. Zach, I got a question. Being that it's not a 1:20 a.m. kickoff for you, will you take a little power nap this afternoon? Will you turn in, take a little nap, and then get refiled up, or will you just suck on the caffeine all day long and then just have like a 2-hour nap and get back in here tomorrow morning for the chat? I got to know how the UK people do it. Do they take the nap or not before an Eagles game, before a night game? Um, is Liam doing a drunk stream tonight? I doubt he's doing a drunk stream, but I know he's got his show on tonight. What's he do? His show at 5 o'clock, I believe, every day, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm sure he'll have a preview show today, and I'm sure his show will outdraw us in viewership, in likes, and all that stuff because his core 12 likes him better than my core 12. Uh, I never do naps before games. I'd stay asleep otherwise. All right, that's fair. I used to take naps. Now I have no problem taking a little nap. I really don't. I might take a nap before the 7:15 start. Now I got to work all day, but I would. Panthers were smart to trade DJ Moore and a first to skip from 3 to 2 and get Bryce Young over Stroud. I don't know. Bryce Young didn't play this week. CJ Stroud did. CJ Stroud looked good yesterday. Oh wait, it's just a midnight kickoff tonight. That's a lot better. You weren't doing that. It's a 7:15 start because they got 2 Monday night games tonight. 2 games tonight instead of 1. I love to say it. But like I said, it's so much nicer starting at 7:15. But this NFL, it's so, you look at some of these games, like you look at the Cowboys game. We've talked about that a lot. The Jaguars. Did we overrate the Jaguars? I mean, they just got beat, just flat. Like I almost feel like the Jags beat down from Houston was worse than the Cardinals beating down the Cowboys because there were so many high hopes for the Jaguars as well. The Jets, I don't know why the Jets won't go get a quarterback. Zach Wilson is not it. The Packers, that was a good win against the Saints yesterday, actually. I was really big on that. And the Titans, I mean, it's interesting. I'm just looking at who I picked here. Core 12 catching all the strays. Yeah, that's right. Pew, pew, pew. Catch those stray bullets. I'm on island above Australia, and I can't get my pizza and NFL game on until 6 a.m. Well, your free pizza stands when you're in Philly next time. Um, man, 6 a.m. For the 7:15 game tonight. It'll be on at 6:15 a.m. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Um, Core 12 is locked up long-term contracts. All right, yeah, all right, that's fine. Did Howie negotiate those contracts? Because if he did, there's probably an out for me. I could probably get out from under that contract really easily. Who the Jets going to get? Wentz, Matt Ryan? Yeah. And they're probably better than Zach Wilson. They can make a trade for someone like Marcus Mariota. If they want to throw us a second or a third round pick for Marcus Mariota, help you Tanner McKeesters out. There got to be better options than Zach Wilson. And I was watching some of that game, and every time Zach Wilson made one good throw, Tony Romo's like, oh my God, see? Look at the potential in Zach Wilson here. Oh, man. Tony Romo has gone so far downhill as an announcer. He really has. If you think about it, when he first came in, some liked him, some didn't. He had a different style, but he hasn't gotten better. He's gotten worse, has he not? I don't know. At least that's my opinion. That Tony Romo's terrible. But anyway, let's get back into this. Let's get back into the Eagles here. Let's get back into this Eagles game. Who's got the most pressure on them tonight? Is it Jalen Hurts? Is it Brian Johnson? You know, all the hype that's going around the Cowboys losing, all the talk the Cowboys losing. Does it even mean anything if the Eagles come out tonight and throw a clunker? Think about the schedule. You start the week on the road, 4:25, then you play a quick Thursday night game, then you've already got a mini extended bye week and you're going Monday night. The constant change, no rhythm. There's a chance of a clunker. Like the Cowboys losing means nothing if the Eagles don't come out tonight and take care of business. And with all these games we've talked about, the Jags, the Cowboys, all these teams, the Ravens losing, you know, all these teams losing games they shouldn't lose. It just means nothing if the Eagles lose. So the Eagles have pressure that they have to accomplish what's in front of them tonight. Whether it's pretty or ugly, they need to come out and win. So who's the pressure on the most? Jalen Hurts, who hasn't looked great. Brian Johnson, showing that he's the right choice for offensive coordinator. Is it on the offensive line pass blocking? Is it on Jeff Stoutland to get the guys ready? Who's got the most pressure on them tonight for the Philadelphia Eagles? That's who I'm thinking. Romo had Jessica Simpson, Kelsey as Taylor Swift. Dude, K1, I hope you're like me and can't stand the Taylor Swift stuff. Like, I don't need to see Taylor Swift and chase Travis Kelsey every other minute. Like, I just don't. I don't need to see Taylor Swift hanging out with Kelsey's mom. I don't. Like, I don't. It's so obnoxious. Like, I hate it. Like, I don't care when celebrities hook up, and but I don't need to shove down my throat 5-minute times a day. Like, it's so obnoxious and so nauseating at this point. Good morning. What is up, Eric? How you doing? Yeah, blank the Cowboys is right. Messing up my confidence pool. Look, that Cowboys. I mean, the Cowboys just let's backtrack onto the Cowboys again for a second here. The Cowboys obviously threw out a clunker yesterday. It stunk awful yesterday. But let's not pretend that the Cowboys still aren't a good team. They're still going to win a lot of games. They're going to come back and put up 40 against somebody next week or 2 weeks later. It was an ugly loss, but there's still a lot of talent on that Cowboys team. You know, it was funny. We were joking about the Cowboys and the Sixers last week, and Parsons was Embiid, and the Cowboys were the Sixers, and whatnot. And I saw somebody post something yesterday that Micah Parsons is a lot like Joel Embiid, body language wise. When Joel Embiid things are going well, he's all yeah, and when things are going bad, he sulks and he looks bad. Parsons is the same way. It's kind of funny to see that. But let's not think that the Cowboys aren't going. The Cowboys aren't going to go and lose 10 more games this year. They're still a great team. Every team has a clunker at some point. Um, I think week 3 we see our true colors on NFL teams. Like people thought Dallas going undefeated. The best teams are showing, and it's all over our schedule this year. Yeah, I mean by week 3, week 4, you start to week 1, anything can happen. Week 2, you're still getting your footing. Week 3, week 4, you are who. You know how many times the Patriots back in the early Tom Brady days. You know, in 2001 or 2, I think they started like 1-3 or something like that, or 2-2, go on to win the Super Bowl. Like it happens. Like slow starts happen around the NFL with the way they don't practice as hard during preseason, the way they don't play in games. So week 3, week 4, you start to see it. The Cowboys are still a good team. Let's be honest. They're not an awful team. Let's just remember that. What is up? Yes, Freddie, what's going on, my man? You had to know that was coming. We're going to eat those Swifty news stories for about 3 weeks, and then 3 weeks, their relationship's going to be over. Maybe I don't know. Look, I just can't take it. It's so obnoxious. Um, and she's supposed to be an Eagles fan. The Eagles are going to mash the Bucks tonight. There's no pressure. Fear doesn't look good on you, bro. I don't know fear. I have realism. It's real. I have realistic approaches to these things, and I know the Bucks are a good team. Is it the Bucks with a K? That's the Milwaukee Bucks. Is it the Bucks Bucs? I don't know. I have to think about that one for a second. But I don't want to assume a mashing and then be disappointed when it's a close, hard fought game. I'd rather get myself prepared for a close, hard fought game, and then if it turns into a blowout, great. I can turn in a little early. You can't stop Taylor Swift hype. You can only hope to contain. Who is harder to contain, Justin Jefferson or Taylor Swift hype? I'm not sure. Um, Kelsey turned heel. Maybe he did. I know everybody's gonna want to talk about the commercials. I'm not gonna get into the commercials he did. I need Hurts, Smith, and Brown to go off tonight, explode, so I can keep my fantasy football streak alive. So I'm getting my one league. I'm winning the PSN league, which I was the number one scoring team in 2-0 through 2 weeks. It's not going to happen for me. I'm losing. Chris Infante is smoking me this week. I do have a 1% chance of winning, but I almost don't want to win because I got Mike Evans going tonight. I'm down 20. I got Mike Evans, and he's got Dallas Goddard. So I need Mike Evans to score 20 more points than Dallas Goddard, and that would not be good for the Eagles if that actually came true. So if I win in PSN, then that means we get smoked tonight, and Mike Evans puts up a monster game. And even then, it still might not happen. Phil, I'm take your compliments, even if they are from. Hey, look, sarcasm is sarcasm, man. I'm the most sarcastic SOB there is out there. New quarterback power rankings: Mahomes, Allen, Tua, Hurts, Burrow. Look, I don't know about Allen too, but Tua, man, I've said this before. Tua always had all the potential. It's just a matter of him staying healthy. And you can't tell anybody that watches any Miami Dolphins game Every time Tua drops back, there's got to be that fear in your head. He might, and I'm not hoping that he does. I hope he never gets hurt again. The NFL will be more exciting with the Dolphins putting up 70-point games, without a doubt. It'll draw ratings. It'll be good for the game. And Tua's a great kid, and I hope he stays healthy. But man, even if he stays healthy for the next 3 years, at some point, I'm gonna fear. Every time, I'm still gonna fear it. Bucks barely beat Chicago. It's in Negadelphia. I am not Negadelphia. I'm Realadelphia. I'm a realistic person. Okay. I just look at the Bucks defense and know our offense has not been elite yet. At least passing the ball. So we'll see. We'll see what tomorrow's. I hope I'm wrong, guys. I hope tomorrow you come on the show when we're doing the recap of the game and we're talking all things recapping it, and you guys tell me, see, you guys were right and I was wrong. I hope I'm right. I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. The Cowgirls beat two trash teams and the media with them, so Dallas is not scary. But they're still good. I have no problem saying the Cowboys are a good team. Now, I'm not gonna say they're a great team. And maybe I was wrong saying that they were the second best NFC team. That's probably the 49ers, but we'll see. It won't be long. We're going to week 3 here. We got Cowboys, what, week 9 or 10? They'll be here before we know it. She'll at least be Eagles adjacent, unless we get our Eagles Chiefs Super Bowl. Yeah, is she going to be wearing the same jersey as Mama Kelsey in the Super Bowl with one half Eagles and one half Chiefs? I don't know. How's that Thanksgiving dinner going to go? Not talking about commercials, talking T Swift. Look, can you imagine? Like, hey, mom, meet my new girlfriend. It's Taylor Swift. What's that introduction like to Mama Kelsey right there? I draft very few Eagles players in fantasy football because I get too attached to make good decisions. Yeah, see, I have no problem. I have no problem detaching fantasy football from real life. I don't. Well, at least the season long things. That's why my PSN team has Dak Prescott, CD Lamb, and the Dallas defense on it. The Dallas defense won me last week big time, smoked me this week. So it's a love hate relationship there for sure. Um, I'd rather pick Ice Spice than Taylor Swift. I don't even remember which Spice was which, honestly, at this point. It's been so long since I've even thought of the Spice, any of them. I've got Goddard in most of my fantasy football rosters, killing me so far. Yeah. Um, who needs the breakout game tonight more for the Eagles? Dallas Goddard or AJ Brown? If only one guy can have 2 touchdowns and 120 yards receiving, who needs it more? For the confidence of the fan base, for the confidence of the players, for the confidence of the team. Who needs the bigger game? Dallas Goddard, who at least had some targets and catches, just nothing big, or AJ Brown, who some people think there's an issue there, some don't. I don't. But who needs the bigger game? As a Travis, also, I don't rate Allen at all. Yeah, Josh Allen to me, he's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, but I don't think he's top 3. Um, Phil, quit being Negatron. I am not Megatron. I'm Realitron. I'm a realist. Um, More like Breadadelphia. I don't know, man. We got so many different things. Phil's this turned into not a Eagles Bucks preview, but a call Phil names. I'm going to end this stream right now without any more. No, I'm just kidding. CD is very good fantasy pick, and I have no issue wanting him to score for points. Yeah, look, I sometimes I don't even look at my team till the games are over because I don't want to be rooting for a team to win or lose based off of my fantasy team. AJ Brown needs it more. So it's funny. I asked the question: who needs it more, Brown or Goddard? First answer: AJ Brown from Eric. Second answer: Goddard from K1. Third answer: Brown. It's like it's literally one after another, going back and forth here. It's interesting, and I think that the Brown, it's more important to keep the fans happy because we know internally Goddard and Brown probably aren't worried. If the Eagles are 3-0, AJ Brown and Dallas Goddard aren't going to care. They're just not. But the fans are. The media is going to talk about it, and I actually think Duck. It's more to keep the media quiet than the fans happy because the fans' happiness is driven by the clickbait mainstream media in Philadelphia, the people on the dial, the people that are writing these clickbait stories. That's what you need. Tell if you got to keep Dan Sileo, who's still welcome on the show anytime to debate me on his dumbass takes, and I tell you, I'll shut him down really quickly. If AJ Brown goes out and has another clunker tonight, it's going to drive him to make comments tomorrow on his show, which is going to stir the pot in Philadelphia with the fans, which, it's just going to be this cycle. So it's more the media and then to keep the fans quiet. I feel like Goddard shares Hurts' mentality. I really do too. I do. I don't think he cares about anything but winning. Um, I can't wait to smash San Francisco in that gimmick offense. I hope so. San Francisco's a good team. I haven't really dived deep into their first 3 games, but they've won pretty easily. Without a problem yet. Devontae Smith is always coming through without winning. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't worry about any of these guys, but one of them's going to have to go off tonight. Goddard just needs yards until we can get him back to fully integrated again. Yeah, Dallas Goddard. I mean, he's gotten some targets, and problem also is that Jalen Hurts has missed him on some pretty open reads this year so far. So you got a little bit of both there. Real quick, I didn't get my 9 o'clock reset here. You're watching Trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. We're live on the Philadelphia Sports Network, and you got to make sure you hit that like button, that share button, that subscribe button. It's free to do. If you hit that bell, which is right next to the subscribe button, it turns the notifications on. That way, you never miss a minute when we are live. Whether it's me, whether it's Liam with his show, whether it's Flipping the Birds on Tuesday, Wednesday nights, whether it's when the basketball podcast or soccer stuff goes up. If you hit the bell, you never miss any of the Philadelphia Sports Network content. And make sure you check out their website, phillysportsnetwork.com, for all the great writing on all the Philadelphia sports teams in the area. If Taylor Swift goes, the Holy Crush, she would melt. Yeah. Um, Phil, like how you're going around the league, can't wait for power. I will do my power rankings. They'll be on Wednesday's show, power rankings, because I got to wait till the night's game's over. I got to come up with them tomorrow, and then it takes a little time for me to come up with my power rankings every week. So Wednesday's show will go over my new power rankings. But let me guarantee, Dallas was one of my power rankings last week. They ain't going to be number one in my power rankings this week. That's for sure. I meant bearded Delphia. Oh, okay, gotcha. I gotcha. Cilio is sports entertainment. He's not actually making commentary. Right. I agree with you, Duck. And there's a small percentage of Philadelphia sports fans that agree with you. But if you look at the numbers, if you look at the ratings, if you look at the sponsorships, there's enough people that care about him and listen to him. And that's the problem. The problem is everybody loves to complain about the bad media people out there in Philadelphia, the bad sports talk hosts and the bad radio shows. But yet, and this is not even like a plug for me, Duck. There is so many other options out there. But yet everybody goes to the core groups, except for my core 12 that comes here. Everyone goes to the main shows. There's plenty other options. Support I wear a shirt around all the time. It says support local podcasters, support local YouTubers. There's plenty of great guys like me and girls. I don't want to eliminate. There's great female, sports shows out there. You know, I'm drawing a blank on the Phillies podcast now that I love. The girls, Jen and Kylie. There's plenty of great options out there. You don't have to listen to the dial. You don't have to listen to Dan Cilio, but people do. That's my little rant there. AJ has literally also said in an interview he does not care about the amount of receptions he has been getting. Exactly, but it's the media starting the point, Zach. And you being over in the UK, maybe you don't get as much of the Philadelphia negative media as we do. We haven't heard anything about Cam. Is that a good or bad thing? Um, I don't know. Maybe. Guys like Sims and Cilio say stupid stuff to get clicks. They do. It's plain and simple. That's what I don't do. I try to have that's why I'm saying it could be closer. I'm trying to have a logical conversation. I don't mind if you guys prove me wrong. I don't mind if you guys convince me to change my opinion. That's what this show's platform is, the complete opposite. Yet he gets 3,000 views a show and has 1,200 people watching him live, and me, I get 20 to 30 of you watching live and maybe 200 views a show. But you know what? I won't compromise my integrity to be like him. Cilio get Philly 500 on because he will kowtow to him on his show, but has good general takes on his own show. If me and Cilio went one on one, I wouldn't change. I wouldn't compromise any of it. And any kind of BS that he threw at me, I would tell him he's stupid for saying it. I might do it politically correct. I might tell him he's wrong and not stupid, but I'm not going to change my opinions or my philosophies on way of doing business for him. Yours and other small creators' content is better because you're actually fans and aren't getting paid crazy amounts just to stir the pot. But Zach, the thing is, that's why I won't get paid big money. Because sure, if somebody wanted to offer me, I'd find a way around my restaurant. If somebody wanted to offer me a bigger paying job, like a big paying job, I would take it. But they'd have to understand that you're not getting clicks with me, clickbait stuff with me. You never would get that stuff from me. I would never sell out my philosophies on how to do business for the money. Now I would sell out. I'm always up for the highest bidder. I follow too many Philly people on Twitter not see the Philly media on my timeline every day. A lot of them I just mute. I do. You shouldn't mention Dan Celia's name. No free. I know, and I try not to quote tweet. And there was a Cowboys guy yesterday throwing shit out there, and instead of quote tweeting, I snapshotted it so that he wouldn't get the clicks and stuff like that. But it's all about the point and the narrative that we can have logical conversations. How many sacks we get tonight? Good question, K1. Let's get back on track with the Eagles game. I don't know how many sacks we get. We've been very high. Hold on, back to your comment in a second. But yes, everybody's got a price. Haven't done that in a while. How many sacks? We haven't had as many sacks as we'd like. We're not on pace for the 70 sacks again, obviously. I mean, that'd be very hard to do. But the way you win this game is by getting in Baker Mayfield's face. So I'd like to see 4 or 5 sacks tonight from this defense. I'd like to see 8, 9, 10 double-digit quarterback pressures, quarterback hits. I want to see the front line, Hassan Reddick, get a sack tonight. Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, one of those guys, maybe Milton Williams, Fletcher Cox, all of them, Josh Sweat. They all need to be in Baker Mayfield's face. I'm going to say this, 4.5 over or no, 3.5 over or under. If the over hits, we win big like you guys predict. If it's under 3.5 sacks, then that means Baker Mayfield's got time, and it's a much closer game like I think. So I hope we get the over. I hope we get 4 more sacks, but that's going to be one of the keys to the game, getting pressure on Baker Mayfield without a shadow of a doubt. You should beat up Silly on live TV. No, I would never beat anybody up. But I'll verbally beat him up for sure. I think we get 5 sacks. If we get 5 sacks tonight, Duck, then the bigger win that you guys think that's going to happen is much, much more logical, without a shadow of a doubt. At least 5. 2 interceptions. Again, statements like this, K1, while I love them, I understand why others would say it's very homerish as well. Baker hasn't thrown an interception yet this year. He's been sacked once through 2 games, albeit against bad teams. But, if this line is accurate, K1, then we win this game 35-10. But it has to, this kind of a defensive performance is needed for that to happen. The side will have a scheme to take away Evans and frustrate Baker, the turnover maker. If you shut down Evans, you still got to frustrate Baker. You still got Godwin on the other side. Chris Godwin's the unsung hero. He's just as good. Some would say equally as good as Mike Evans. We will get the double-digit pressures because we have been close to that the last 2 games. Exactly. But now we do need some of those pressures to get home. We got to wrap up and get the sacks, knock them down hard a few times. You're realistic. 5 sacks and 2 interceptions is realistic. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see about that. But I get it. I do like the confidence that you guys have. I do. We just need to cover the freaking middle. Enough of this quick passes in the middle of our defense. Yeah. Offensively and defensively, I think that's a fair thing to say. I want to see what the line is on tonight. Is it still 5 points? It is on ESPN, still a 5-point line. I will say, I am a gambler, and I got crushed yesterday. I had probably one of my biggest losses gambling yesterday I've had in years. Mostly because Jacksonville was in every one of my parlays that I had yesterday. But being on the road, a 2-0 team on the road against another 2-0 team, but still being a 5-point favorite on the road, does kind of lead me to think that it's a little bit easier of a game. Like the bookies are leaning more towards that 7 to 10 point win for the Eagles tonight. That's what the line does tell me. Now, I got some scores written down here that fit that, some that don't. Well, we'll see in the last 5 minutes of the show what my final prediction is for tonight. Jalen Carter will get 3 sacks tonight. What? Jalen Carter, 3 sacks. Josh Joby, pick 6. Wow. There was some bold predictions there, Zach. But I love it. As we get to the final 15 minutes of the show, bold predictions are fine. I love it. D-line has no business playing so miss as they did last Thursday. They even better than Bill's D-line on paper. They're very good, the defensive line of the Eagles. Baker's a short quarterback. He can't throw over our tall D tackles. Well, we're going to find out tonight. We're going to find out. We definitely will. What happened to the Jags yesterday? That was unexpected. Maybe we overrated the Jags. Maybe we overrated Trevor Lawrence. I don't know. Um, congrats, yeah. The Bills smoking the Commanders. That was good. I'll take it. I'll accept that without a shadow of a doubt. I'll give the Bills a little round of applause for that, without a doubt. Bold predictions, for tonight's game. I love them. I haven't even written down any bold predictions for tonight. Normally, I tweet them out before the game. But I am going to say, if this game is going to go the way you guys want it to go, 4 more sacks is required. But I'm also going to say, I want to see a Jalen Hurts 300 passing yard game tonight. It's going to be hard to get the 200 rushing yards, 150 rushing yards. It's going to be tough. We get 300 from Jalen Hurts tonight. 115 to 120 of those to A.J. Brown. I'd be very, very, very happy and content with this game. Commanders stink. They do stink. This is not far off from what I'm leaning towards, Duck. 27-17. I know, and I see K1 saying 37-13. I see a lot of Eagles fans putting 30 plus up on their predictions. Find it very hard to see the Eagles scoring over 30 points against this Buccaneers defense. I really do. And the 27, somewhere in that 24 to 28 range for the Eagles is much more realistic. I love to see it be that 10 points. We'll see. Browns and Lions impressed me yesterday. The Browns, maybe. I mean, the Browns they're okay. Deshaun Watson, he's okay. Detroit, yeah, they're good. Did you see what's his name? Branch, their rookie safety. Was it the Lions he plays for? Basically saying, yeah, I'll take that cheap shot penalty anytime. Let them know I'm not afraid to tackle. That's a Dan Campbell type comment right there for sure. Guys, I'm not sold on this Joby the Bible guy. Um, yeah, I don't know about Josh Joby either. Pick six, man. That's interesting. That would be a big moment for him for sure. I say Eagles D line need bounce back game. Baker terrible. Look, it's yeah. Wilson is officially a washcloth. Yeah, Russell Wilson, he's done, man. We dodged such a bullet not getting him or Deshaun Watson or Jimmy Garoppolo instead of Jalen Hurts. Dodged such a bullet. Russell Wilson's toast. But it also doesn't help that the Broncos are a terrible organization right now, at all. Stroud very good, maybe. Watson never was good to begin with, in my opinion. I think Goodrich will start nickel though. I bet another pizza Hawaiian. I agree. I won't make that bet because I do think Goodrich starts at nickel as well tonight. I think Joby's the first guy off the bench, not the starter. So I can't bet you when I agree with you on that. If I keep agreeing with you on everything, then I'm going to owe you my pizza shop. Well, which you can have it if you wanted it. Our D could score 2 tutties on their own tonight. I don't know about that. That's a bold. One defensive touchdown tonight is a bold prediction, in my opinion. Goff's a solid game managing quarterback. I think Goff gets a lot of crap because he was the number 1 overall pick and whatnot. I think the Rams gave up on him too soon. I really do. I mean, he takes you to the Super Bowl. Yeah, you lose. We went to the Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts and lost, and we didn't give up on him. I think the Rams gave up on Jared Goff. He wasn't going to throw 400 yards a game, but if you build the right team around him, Jared Goff can win you football games. He ain't going to win you a Super Bowl, but he might make you a playoff run. You never know. Anything can happen once you get to the playoffs. Lions have been getting better and becoming solid. Yeah, they're a well coached, disciplined team. Tampa can't run at all. They can't, and that's the thing. Our front four, we don't need to play more than 4 or 5 guys on the line. We could drop 6, 7 into coverage every play because they can't run at all. And someone said at the beginning of the show that the Bucks front offensive line is not in good shape. So we should our front 4 or 5 should be able to feast tonight. Browns should be much better than they are for the money they spent. Exactly. They people talk about the Browns as a great team. They're a good team. But with the money and the team they built, they should be better. Yeah, they're just okay. Wilson is done. He's fried. He very well. I mean, you got Jerry Jeudy, you got Courtland Sutton. You got a team there. They just stink. And I think Sean Payton is done too, without a doubt. I want to see AJ Brown more mentally tough. He's about as media sensitive as Doc Rivers and Ben. I don't think he's as bad as them, but I get it. He's a diva. I don't want my elite, high paid wide receiver not being a diva. I want them to want the ball. I do. I want them to like the ball. 23 likes, so maybe you should stay Negatron. Yeah, maybe. 23 likes. We've had like 30 people watching at a time. It's still not enough likes. 23 likes. Hit that like button. Hawaiian pizzas are like birds. They don't exist and are a CIA monitoring method. Um, Dude, I hate the Hawaiian pizza. I think ham is the most overrated meat, and I hate pineapple, especially cooked pineapple. Um, but I sell so many Hawaiian pizzas, Duck, on a regular basis. For being in Kennett Square, which is like Mexico City Junior, and the Spanish customers that come in my shop love their ham, love their pineapple on pizza, um, especially with little jalapenos on top. So I'll sell it all day long and count all the money. I just won't eat it. I think the Rams give up on a lot of quarterbacks like that. Yeah, they were trying to move on from Matthew Stafford already too. Um, you know, it's all right. He's not that bad. 23 likes is Jared Goff production. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit better. No, based off of how you guys have been doing lately, it's better than Jared Goff, but you know, still got to be better. I can't have Liam out viewing me every single week. Liam does 3 shows and does as many views on 3 shows as I do for 5 shows. Come on, now he does the nighttime slot, which is easier to get views on. But come on, all you got to do is hit that share button. Share it on all your social media platforms. Tell all your friends when you're in Wawa today. Tell everybody. Number one question: Who covering Mike Evans? Well, it's the Eagles have a tendency to not slide one cornerback to cover. Slay has done it before, but when you have Bradbury and Slay out there, whatever side Mike Evans is on, that's who's going to be covered. That's the way they like to do it. Well, I'm in Island and on an island close to Hawaii, so that goes against the Islanders. Yeah, look, I don't like pineapple, man. I don't like ham. I can't deny what I don't like. Herbert threw for 400 yards. His coach is so bad. Look, Herbert throws for a lot of yards. I know they beat the Vikings yesterday, but whoever won that game, neither of them were really that impressive to me. It was just a battle of fantasy stat quarterbacks putting up numbers, and that's it. There's some bad play calling and bad time management by the Vikings at the end of that game too. Globe or flat. We got flat earthers in here. You live in an area of psychopaths. Hawaiian pizza is the devil. I know. I know. Um, what is it? Oh, Boyd. Um, you can be a diva, but I don't want everyone other sentence talking about outside noise. Look, there is no outside noise though. It was all the outside people talking about it. There's nothing wrong with what happened between AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts. Nothing at all. So it's our fault you don't have as many views now. It is your fault, 100%. If you guys are gonna call me Negadelphia, I'm gonna blame you guys for not hitting that share button. It shouldn't be hard for this show to double its viewership. No problem. Kyle saying 38-20 again. Another one of those bold predictions. I can't do it, man. I can't get myself to predict the Eagles to score over 30 points today. I just can't. Check the earth. It's actually slightly football shaped. Maybe it is. I don't know. I'm no astronomy. It's the people who ain't getting up and trending with the AM's fault. Yeah, look, it's not my fault. I like to blame everybody else but myself. All right, we got final 5 minutes. Here we go. Um, Pineapple is Taylor Swift of toppings. Annoying, and I don't care. So yeah, pretty much Eagles football. Eagles football, guys. So I've got 4 scores written down here, and I haven't decided which one I'm going to write down here as my final score. Um, let me go over them here. I do think it's going to be a close game. So hold on. What's it say? Psychopaths. Yikes. Well, don't you come over here. I'll find you. I got 4 scores written down. Most of them are fairly close scores. The first score I wrote down was 24-20. Then I'm like, I think the Eagles with that 5-point line could cover it. So I'm like, no, 27-20. Okay. Then I said the Eagles defense, if they could do what they need to do, could keep the Buccaneers under 20. So then I wrote down 28-17. And I'm like, well, what if you give up a late touchdown, 28-14? So those are the 4 scores I wrote down before this show started. 28-17, 28-24, 27-20, 24-20. And I'm just going to make my final prediction right now. I got the Eagles winning 27-20. They win by a touchdown. They cover the spread. Annoying. You don't care and makes a ton of money. 27-20. Eagles win tonight. And how do they do that? Jalen Hurts is going to put up 300 yards tonight. I don't doubt it. I got it. 300 yards. A.J. Brown over 100 yards receiving tonight. And I'm going to say there's 4 sacks on this defensive line. 2 from Hassan Reddick. That's how I see this game playing out. They don't easily handle the Buccaneers, but 7 points looks like a close game, but I could see it being 27-14, something like that. And then the Bucks start on their 2-minute drill at the 4 minutes left in the game. They get a touchdown. They try to make another run. Um, but I see the Eagles winning semi comfortably. Oh wow, that's a bold prediction right there. Kenny Gainwell over 100 yards just running the ball, because that would piss all us DeAndre Swift people who think he should clearly be the number one running back, but yet Nick Sirianni say he's going to go with the hot hand, and if Kenny G gets a couple good runs early, Kenny G is going to get all the runs. Oh man, that this bold prediction right here would frustrate a lot of Eagles fans, but not as long as we win the game. 40-13 Eagles. I think we wake up. Let's go. And there's a lot of big wins predicted from you guys, and I hope you're all right. Tomorrow morning's show will be a lot more entertaining with the big win than a close win that I'm predicting. Um, that just shows anger management. Psychopath would be quiet about it. Yeah. Okay. 100 combined. Let's not get carried away. All right. But still, I cannot wait to see what the running back distribution usage is, and if Rashad Penny gets any usage. That Boston Scott's been ruled out. Now, yesterday on Twitter, when Boston Scott got ruled out, or 2 days ago, I put out a tweet, well, who's going to return punts? And obviously I meant kicks because Boston Scott was ruled out. Well, man, people, you can't make a mistake on Twitter. I refuse to delete tweets. But man, the amount of people that called me an idiot Eagles fan that didn't know that Boston Scott wasn't the punt returner, like, seriously. Look at my profile. Obviously, I know what I'm talking about to an extent. Just a little slip of the tongue or slip of the fingers there. Man, people killed me for that yesterday. 33-17 Eagles, still 3-0, and your ESPN bottom switched the narrative back. The Eagles are going to the Super Bowl, and the Cowboys payroll guys, they only beat the Bucks. Yeah, I could see that playing out, the narrative playing out that way for sure. Wouldn't surprise me if Penny has a big. It wouldn't, would it? If Rashad Penny comes out tonight and runs for 100 yards, it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah. How do they not know Scott is not the punt returner? Who knows? But man, I make one little slip up on Twitter and I refuse to delete them. When I make a mistake, I leave it out there and I take my punishment. But man, come on. Obviously. So Rashad Penny might be the one actually returning kicks tonight with Boston Scott ruled out. Quez Watkins has been ruled out too. So we might see more Britton Covey as the fourth wide receiver. I don't know who they're going to call up from the practice squad just yet. But it'll be interesting to see how the game plays out tonight, guys. We're wrapping up here. Final 2 minutes of the show, final minute and a half of the show, or whatever it is. I got 27-20 Eagles, 4 sacks for the defense, 2 by Hassan Reddick. I got 300 yards for Jalen Hurts and over 100 for A.J. Brown tonight. That is it. And I'm actually going to find a way to make that a parlay. Eagles cover and those other stats happening. That is going to be one. I'm going to have 2 same-game parlays tonight. Follow me on Twitter or Instagram or TikTok. I post all my stuff on all those accounts. All of them. It's at Beard of Knowledge, and I will make sure I post it on there. Dallas always has talent. It's JJ's fault they haven't had another Super Bowl in recent decade. He select crap coaches and interferes. Yeah, it's Jerry Jones. All about it. They'll never win another Super Bowl as long as Jerry Jones is in charge. I firmly believe that. Only way we touch 40 is with 3 pick sixes. I could see Nick at halftime like, okay, we scored 27. Let's just hand the ball to Rashad Penny and run it in. Yeah. Any bonus value coverage? No bonus value coverage today. Long live Jerry Jones. Yeah, exactly. For our sake, yes. William confirmed. Yeah. The man chatter, $5, bro. Cough it up. Exactly. Nope. Time's up. Time's up, guys. We'll be back tomorrow, 8:15 a.m. recapping tonight. Who was right? Me, you guys. Who knows? We recap it all. I don't get anger issues, Duck, and you didn't have to call Hawaiian psychopaths. Uh, guys, it's all good. It's all good. We're gonna wrap this up. Make sure if you're watching this on replay, you hit the like button, you drop your comments and your predictions. Follow me on all social media platforms. I check everything. I answer everybody. I have no problem doing that. But make sure you hit that like button, your share button, the subscribe button. It's free to hit those buttons. Yeah, $500 or $5 super chats are nice, but so is that like and share button. I'll pass over the money if we could just get the views up right now, and then we'll worry about the money later on. Let's do that. Let's make sure we're sharing this show out every single day. Make sure we're telling everybody, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you're at. You make sure everybody knows to tune in every single morning here. Was it? I don't know. But whoever created it should. It's the Pits. Anyway, we got to wrap this up. The pen is a mid prop. Do you like the pencil better? I don't got anything else. My chargers fell behind the desk, and I can't play with that anymore. What do you want? I'll find something else to play with. Damn right. Damn right. Anyway, guys, let's wrap this up here. I even gave you guys a minute of overtime here with no super chat. So, trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. I am your host, Phil Stiefel. Make sure you follow, like, share, subscribe. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Eagles win 27-20, in my opinion. And all I can say is one more word. It's really simple. Let's go, Birds!